Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to get the GT35 off the twin turbo Forester to get it back to a stock location turbo Forester. It's a sad day, but it's got to happen. We're going to do some tuning, and I think we're having some issues with the whole compounding system. So let's get that off. Alright, so if everything is good after the GT35 comes off and we've got the stock location going all good, we will end up going back up to a GT35 if we are just going to a single. So there are adapters to go from the Subaru to a T3 flange. We'll just have to remake this little section of exhaust, really. So yeah, we'll see how we go, and hopefully we have some good results. So, where do we start? We'll straddle the engine and we'll get the dump pipe off. Alright, we're actually going to start with the external wastegate. So we'll get the screamer pipe off, we'll get the wastegate off, will give me more access to get down to the V-band down there. Then we'll take that off. And we'll get the old GT35 off, so oil, water, and obviously the oil drain, and get that off. We have to get the exhaust manifold, the up pipe off. We need to get obviously the turbo off because we need to do the oil drain, so we're going back to a single oil drain. And while I'm down there, I'm going to check the power steering line, see if I need to make another one because it might be kinked. And if I don't have any line, I'll put the hard line back on. I can't remember which one it is. Hopefully it's the lower one, because I don't want to put this hard line back on because that sits up really high and makes it a bit ugly. But anyway, see you later. Hi guys, I've got the V-band off. I went to get the one off down there and I can't reach it. I've got the wastegate off there and there's some nice milky stuff there, but it's at the point where I need to jack it up because I need to get under it there. And I was going to start to do the oil and the water, then decided not to because if I need to get under it, it'll be wet under there. So we'll just jack it up, get the tub under there to catch any liquids, and we will get this off. I need to jack it up anyway to get to the manifold and get all that stuff off too. Alright guys, I just got the dump pipe off and unfortunately it does not match with that one that I had. For some reason they're like both 3-inch but don't match up. Also, that is a female, this is male, and I need that to be a male, but it just doesn't go together. So what are we going to do? Instead of just sitting here thinking, I'm just going to keep going on with getting everything off, and we'll figure out a plan a little bit later. Perhaps maybe a aftermarket dump pipe, because this one and the black one actually share parts. So I could, well, once I've done with it here, I could put it onto the black XT. I don't know. Have a think about it. Yes. Well, by the sounds of it, I'm getting rid of the compound system. So I could potentially just chop this. We'll see how we go, and see where we can cut it and add things on to marry it up to the Subaru turbo flange. Alright, bit of a mess down here. There's the oil drain. Whoop. That goes into a T-piece, so we need to get that off. So to get that off, we need to take the up pipe off. To get the up pipe off, we need to take the manifold off. And then we can change that to just a 90 degrees, which will come up in this location. But also we can get to the power steering lines, so we can see what's going on there. So this oil drain here will no longer be, and also a lot of these vacuum lines won't be needed anymore. Alright, so I'm going to jump under the car, take the exhaust manifold off, and take the up pipe off, and then we can get back to this area. Alright, I've got the headers off, got the up pipe out. We are going to have a quick look at the power steering lines. I did heat wrap them, so with the sleeve, we'll see how that is. Got to get the oil drain off from the GT35. We're going to take it off from the back of the head, so the T-piece will come off. And yeah. Alright, so I just ran my hand along this power steering line down here, so the 90 degrees. It pretty much does a 90 degree on itself, so it's kinked there. So yeah, that's the lower one. I'll see if I'll get that off, and I will see if I've got more of that size in the Teflon. I can't remember, I've got a few different sizes. But yeah, we'll get that off and we'll go from there. Some coolant leaking, all good. Got a red tub down there. Yeah, so the oil drain, actually there was a bit of oil sitting there, so I don't think it fully drains. This will be good going back to a single drain there. Yeah, so I just pull back the heat sheath. This one here. And you can see it comes out of the 90 and then kinks on itself at a 90. So yeah, we gotta replace that. So we'll have to add a little bit more to it so it can have a gradual curve around and come up. But yeah, I'll look for some lines for it. Alright guys, it's the next day. So we're going to start off by finishing off the power steering hose here. It's just not on properly. It's kind of a little frustrating having that there. I have to try to make it look good, but it's really hard to make a Subaru engine look good with all the pipes and hoses and everything. Anyways, yeah, put that back on. I need to get the Cobra off, I need to get the exhaust off, and we'll see how we go with first start up with that one. If it's smoky, we'll get it off and we'll do a rebuild. I do have the rebuild kit for it, but yeah, hopefully everything goes okay. Alright guys, got the power steering all hooked up. Doesn't look the best. Comes down, back around, up and down. Alright, so now we need to get the oil supply off for the GT35. So we'll take the breather off, then we'll get that AN fitting out and we'll plug that. I think it's a 1/8 MPT to plug that up. Pretty sure it is. Anyway, yeah, we'll do that. Alright guys, got the line off there, got the fitting out of there. So looking at the thread, hopefully just plug it up with that. I think so. I'll clean it up and give it a go. Pretty sure. Alright, we've got the plug in there, so that will most likely be the plug that I'll put the Haltech oil pressure sensor into instead of down underneath and perhaps melting it. So we'll keep it up there. And what do we got next? Pulling stuff off the turbo. Alright guys, I've been pulling vacuum lines out and there is a lot. So this one here, this is obviously vacuum. So this will be vacuum and boost. That comes down, tees off, goes to the valve for the exhaust, and that goes in to the gauge. So that's the only one that I need. I've got one here I can pull out. I've got one here I can pull out. I'm going to put this wiring loom back to where it was because it looks stupid and it's a little bit stretched there. So we'll move all that down. We have this that needs to go back through. We've got this wiring that needs to go back through. So we're just going to clean up that area big time. Alright, tidied up here. So we've got the wideband out. We've got the GFB boost controller out. So this one here is just into the Haltech. We have the exhaust cut out. So that's the clear one here and one of these. Then we have boost reference. And we've got some wiring from the Haltech coming through. So that looks a lot neater. I'm not gonna. Oh, I've also got the oil pressure. So I'm not going to tape it up because that oil pressure one's going to get removed. I'm going to get the Haltech one and put it down here. So I won't tape that up just yet. But look how much has come through and is sitting down here. A little bit of wiring is a lot. So I've got a bit of work to do inside the car as well. So a few things, or a couple of things that can be moved over to the SG. So pretty happy with that. But yeah, this is pretty bad under here. Needs a good clean up. Alright guys, so with the drain, I think I'm going to use this again and put it on in there because that works pretty good. then we'll have a 90-degree bend on that. So it'll be a little bit longer with a 90-degree bend. So fingers crossed this works. We're going to clean up the up part, which I've already done, and I've got to clean up the manifold. So once I've done this, we'll get the exhaust back on, and we'll play around with the turbo. Alright, so I ended up just cutting down the GT35's oil drain, and we chucked that in. So let's get it on. So everything should be all good. Hopefully it comes up in the right location. Alright, pretty sure we got it in a good location. There's a little bit of movement. Alright, up pipe and manifold are on, and the joint is sealed as well. So we need to take that and that off. Alright guys, got the turbo on, just trying to work out the water return for it. Do have a hose here, but it's just a little bit too short. I was playing around with these. This one is not flat, however this one is, but look at the difference. I do like that piece. I want to keep that piece. Yeah, this one's flat, but it doesn't have the cutout for the wastegate, so I think I've got a bit of work ahead of me. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do about the dump down there. Actually, yeah, I was going to chop this, wasn't I? Going to chop this. So if I've got some 2.5 thick wall, so steam pipe, I can weld that on. That's 2.5 internal, but the external sides of it is actually 3. So we should be good to weld off that then. But, yeah, we'll work out this water line first. Alright guys, just had a little bit of a break. Well, actually, pretty big break. It's about 10. What is it? 10:30 at night. About 4-hour break. Yeah, I've got to do the water line. So I'm actually going to use the old power steering. I'll chop it because that goes onto there, and then I'll use that to go onto there till I can get a fitting for here, because I don't have one that size. But anyway, I'll get that done. Just watching some YouTube, watching Smedia and Matt. He just dyno tuned his legacy wagon with a 20G on it and just got over 300 horsepower with stock heads. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to go with just a TDO 520G on it. Let's see how the drivability is, like engine wise and everything. When we do the camps, which shouldn't be too far away, I might go to GT35 with an external gate. So we'll try to keep that bottom section of the downpipe, and we'll just keep modifying to suit on different setups. But yeah, unfortunately I don't think I'll be going back to the compound. Yeah, it just hasn't been working well for me. Like I said before, I just want to drive this. Alright, so I've got the water on there, or the coolant should I say. Obviously it's going to get changed to either both this size or both that size. I can't remember what size they are, but for now, that's alright. So now I can put this one on, which will allow the coolant to come up. And they are going to be spilling some, so I'll get the red bucket under there again. And we need a new worm clamp on there. Eventually, yeah, that'll change too. Gonna get some better fittings. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be doing with the intake. I do have my old silicone intake there that I could put on and just block off all these, maybe except for this one. I'll send the 3-port boost back into there, or should I just, I don't know. I really don't know at the moment. I think Tanner is doing an electric steering, so I want to see how that goes. It'd be awesome if we could get rid of the mechanical pump. I have so much more room up here. We could send 3-inch through there, but we'll probably be doing a rotated anyway. Let's get the coolant in, get the oil feed on, and then I'll work out the vacuum lines to the Grimsby 3-port Mac valve thingamajiggy. If you can't tell, I'm getting tired. I think I've been out in the garage for about 6 or 7 hours today. It's quite a long time for recent times. Anyway. Alright, coolant and oil are now on. Time to do the boost controller to the turbo. Alright, so we've got the vacuum lines on, the boost reference lines. It's pretty easy. Just double checked with GFB with their 3-port. So that's how we do an internal gate. Yeah, so I'm going to clean out that silicone intake there and get that on. And then tomorrow we'll start doing the exhaust. Alright guys, pretty much returned it to stock. Nah. So everything's back on. This won't, I don't know, I was just playing around here. But that's on, it's clamped down. These are on, clamped down. I do have a dash 10 here. I was going to put those into it, but it looks ugly. So I might just leave that. Because of the ABS, we can't really get a filter on here. So I thought it'd be funny to put the airflow meter on there and put it into the guard. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that. We just need to do the exhaust really. So tomorrow we'll make some noise and fabricate an exhaust and see how we go. I think this might have a big play in why it's not running the best. Idle control valve. I don't have enough pinouts for it on the Elite 550, so I kind of just deleted it. Alright guys, it's the next day and it's time to make the new dump pipe. So just put a worm gear clamp on here so this doesn't flop around, because it was sitting up pretty high, but that's just temporary. At the moment, no filter. These are all blocked off. So all I need to do is fill it with coolant and get the exhaust done, and we should be able to start her up again. Don't know what just dropped then. Anyway, alright, so we're going to start chopping up some pipes. Now, I spent ages trying to flatten this off, So I don't think I'm going to use this again. So I'm going to cut that and try to get it flat. That bolt should come out then, and then we'll build off that. With the V-band, it's going to be cut quite low on a 7.5 degree cut, so we can do some pie cuts. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. So we've got a bit of work to do. Got the saw there. Let's move some petrol out of the way and we'll get cutting. Alright, so I've cut that bottom piece, and now I need to do that one. That's going to be by hand, so with an angle grinder, and then we'll clean it up on the band sand, belt sander. You know what I mean. Alright, chop that off. It took a little while. As you can tell, it's pretty thick. I need to flatten that off. So what I'm thinking is I'll just cut that V-band off. That should be a good angle. But obviously we're going to test it up against the car after I flatten that off. Alright guys, this custom dump pipe is going to take a little while, so I'm actually going to finish this episode here, and next episode we'll finish that off and get her driving again. Sorry guys, but yeah, it's taken pretty long to do the fabrication. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, leave a like, and I'll catch you next episode. Bye.